Right then, this is a quick walk around video for possibly the best CRZ in the country in so many ways. This car is a 1.5 hybrid sport, obviously CRZ as you can clearly see. Finished in white. It's got the optional little spoiler which makes all the difference to the look of the car, tiny as it may well be. But what makes this car special, it's a 62 plate, so one with a later battery with the S Plus button on it. But it's covered just 39,000 miles and it's had one owner who's had it serviced all the way through by Honda, and it is in simply stunning condition. I have said many times on CRZ videos that I believe that in due course, I don't know when it'll be, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, these are a future classic in the making, and this has got all the criteria that matches, you know, any collector's, you know, requirements basically. Anyway, blithering on. Front of the car, lights and lenses clear and intact. There's no cracks or condensation there. Bonnet very, very clean. I'm in the shade, by the way, not to hide anything. It's so you can actually see something, any sort of imperfections. A professional photographer told me that once, and I'm not a professional photographer in any way, as you can clearly see. Near side of the car, beautifully smooth. Oh, such interesting angles on this car, absolutely stunning. Near side front alloy, very good condition. Remaining panels again, very, very nice. Near side rear again, really nice. Coming around the back, that silhouette, that angle in particular, I've got a Mark II CRX in my collection, and everything about this little CRZ, all the marketing bull aside, it has that DNA. It really, really does. It's not just a gimmick. Around the back, so the little spoiler just adds a little substance to the back. It makes it feel less sort of bland and sort of featureless. It's, yeah, just all the angles, is just everything's got interest to it. Offside, again, absolutely beautiful down the panel work. Offside rear alloy. This is the only one actually you probably want to do something with, because it has got a little bit of pickling coming up between the spokes. But even that, you know, I'm talking about a 13-year-old car, and they are massive. If they're all like that, and all 13-year-old cars, you'd be happy. Just the fact that the rest of them look pretty much like new, so that's the only one. But I'm nitpicking, I really am. Most garages wouldn't even bother telling you that. It's coming into the back of the car now. Rear seats up, and you've got a very big boot area, which has been beautifully kept. It looks like nothing's been in the back. It's got this carpeted protector just here. See, if I pull that out of the way, the carpet, the area underneath is absolutely pristine. Worth pointing out, these are advertised as a 2+2. The seats there are set for me, and as you can see, you've got absolutely no legroom. In all honesty, I say, and I try and be honest, if you're trying to buy this car as a potential 4-seater, cross it off your list. Best thing you can do as an owner, and I've done it with all of mine, just drop the rear seats down and think of it as a 2-seater with an enormous boot. Let's come to the front, passenger side, full set of original CRZ mats. Passenger seat in absolutely perfect condition. Again, looks like no one's ever sat in it. These later ones get this darker interior, which is much more resistant to sort of looking grubby and staining, because those look perfect. I will show you in the back, if nothing other than just for comical effect, because it's why they even bothered, it's beyond me. Finally come to the driver's side. Door card, again has a passenger one, beautiful. Footwell areas, absolutely fantastic. Driver's seat for a car of its age, regardless of the mileage, extraordinary. So inside the car now, engine's running as always, so the dashboard is illuminated. And again, just continue theme, it just looks like new, absolutely, almost like factory fresh. Start button there. Underneath you do have a little USB lead for charging your phone, and a little hidden cubby hole. All the little recesses, everything just looks like new. And that's the view you get as a driver of the binnacle. It's just stunning, absolutely stunning. Hope you can see 39,447 miles, engine's running, and there are no warning lights at all. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CRZ. It's a 1.5 turbo, 1.5 sport. It's a hybrid, not a turbo. Sorry, just done one for a turbo. This car is registered, if I can read it, WP62FFS. Mileage at the start of the road test is just 39,440 miles. The reason we do all of our videos is because basically we want to make sure that if anyone's looking at any of the cars we're selling, they get to see that very car actually in operation. Reason being that, like far too many people, we've been to see cars which look perfectly good in a photograph or a description, but only to get there and find out actually it's got an obvious fault that shows up, which you'd much rather known about before setting off. So that's why we do it. Also done on these very quiet country roads in this beautiful part of Gloucestershire, and this actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on. The hope, of course, being that it'll be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you go on a drive in the car. So going to the car, it's amazing, isn't it, in life that for months I haven't had any CRZs, and within the space of a couple of days I managed to buy two exceptional examples. This one is extraordinary for lots of reasons. It's a rare later model, so you've got the little S Plus button on here, the later battery, on top of which one private owner from new who's serviced it all the way through with the Honda dealers. So it pretty much ticks every box for any prospective buyer or collector. It's a fantastic car, and I am massively biased, so if you want to spare yourself me salivating over this for the next 10 minutes or so, turn off now because it drives perfectly. Other than that, bear with me because I'll tell you about the bits and bobs on the car as I always do. Starting with the engine, which push button starts pretty much silently because it doesn't use a starter motor. Whirs into life straight away without any warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. The engine is the whole power unit, as I suppose it's referred to these days, because obviously it's hybrid. It's just a marvel of engineering. It's absolute genius. What's lovely about it is, yes, it's a hybrid coupe, but there's nothing about the car in terms of how you drive it or own it that's different to any other car, petrol car or diesel car in that sense. It's self-charging. You don't do anything, just lift the throttle off or hit the brakes and it replenishes the battery. The way the IMA, the integrated motor assist, works with the engine is imperceptible. It's just brilliantly engineered, and the reliability is astonishing, absolutely astonishing on them. The cam chain driven, by the way, the engines, so there's no cam belt stuff to worry about. But the whole essence of it is just about, I always say with this CRZ, it's such a charming car. In the heart of any Honda is the engine, so when you do put your foot down, you've got that lovely intake sound. It doesn't sound harsh, it just sounds keen, it sounds eager. It's lovely, it really is lovely. The engine can operate in 3 different modes, by the way. You've got little switches on the right hand side here. You've got Econ, Normal and Sport, and it's self-explanatory, of course. Econ, yeah, it feels a bit dull. It's fine for around town. Normal, it's kind of halfway house between the two. Sport, and you feel a distinct difference in the throttle response, its keenness to go. I have to say, I've owned plenty of these. Just leave it in Sport. It just fits the character of the car perfectly. What you lose in MPG, you more than gain in kind of the fun factor, in my opinion, at least anyway. Engine then feeds through into the clutch and gearbox. Clutch in the car, perfect. White point's exactly where it's meant to be, and it's nice and smooth. Gearbox is one of the great gearboxes of all time. It's just a brilliant gearbox. Weirdly enough, as I said in the video recently, it starts with the gear lever, the shaping of the gear knob. It's got a little leather surround, it's tapered. Your hand just kind of clasps it naturally and falls directly onto it, but that gear change, it's so short and snappy, and the engagement is perfect. You love using it. It's a gearbox you want to change gear in, rather than kind of thinking, oh, here we go again. If you get flustered and you can't find the gear, well, you won't with this. It's just perfection, and that feels exactly as it would have done when it was new. Then moving on to the steering and chassis of the car, and it gets better still, because I'll get the boring stuff out of the way. Steering, track's dead straight, there's no vibrations at this speed or at any speed up to legal limit. Suspension exhibits absolutely no clonks, rattles, anything. It feels like brand new to drive in that sense. The whole thing feels so taut and tight on the road. But the chassis, my goodness me, is absolutely brilliant. If you like driving, you can't help but love this car. What is very surprising is, because it's so nimble, it's so keen to change direction, is how comfortable it is, how beautifully damped and resolved the ride is. It's not to say it's perfect, it's not to say that bumps won't catch it out, but you've got to go into something pretty horrible and harsh, like that little bump there, a little pothole in the road. Other than that, it's just, it's a car that you can relax in. It's that comfortable, which makes its ability to, eat up A, B roads, whatever, with a massive grin on your face, because the steering, the weighting of it, the precision of it, the accuracy of it, everything is exactly what you want. And what it does, it works beautifully with the chassis. It doesn't overpower the chassis because it's too keen, and it's not slow where the chassis gets frustrated almost by its lack of urgency. It's just dialed in perfectly by the design team that made this car. Fantastic. Brakes, by the way, again, superb, powerful, no pulsing or vibrations coming back to the brake pedal at all, so all in very, very good order there. And finally we come into the interior. This is obviously one of the later ones, so you've got the darker seats and the black bottom to the dashboard. These seats are lovely. The old light grey cloth seats used to stain terribly on the bolsters, so they obviously came away from that. If I was going to be critical, and I'm being really critical now, I did prefer the lighter bottom to the dash. You had the kind of light grey underneath, but maybe that wouldn't have fitted with seats, I don't know. But I'm nitpicking. What is without doubt is the build quality is astonishing in the car. No squeaks, no rattles, feels beautifully bolted together. The dashboard layout and architecture, sometimes when you read a new car brochure, they all come out with the same awful claim where you're sat in the car, it's a cockpit feel, and you feel that it's all utter tosh because it'll just be the same usual stuff. This you genuinely do. You sat low in the car, the driving position is perfection. I'm 6 foot tall and I've got loads of headroom in here, but the layout ergonomically is genius. World's simplest, easiest to use radio, just there. You've got these little pods either side which are completely symmetrical, so if you've got OCD like me, it's easy on the eyes, but you fit your hand. That's how I can touch it from the steering wheel, and that's just brilliant. So this little pod here is to do with the climate control system. Dial your temperature in, there you are, pumping out ice cold air, and it is 33 degrees today, so it's a properly hot day. To the right hand side you've got sort of things like electric wing mirrors, the different engine modes, that kind of stuff. And in front of me, one of the nicest instrumentation binnacles you'll ever see, for lots of reasons, but what immediately obvious is just it's the backlighting, it's the graphics that they use. So which if you think of a kind of a sort of 80s 90s arcade, it's got that kind of look, but that sounds tacky, and it isn't. It just looks stunning. And in a world of really conformist cars that are all the same, and it's joyous to be in a car like this. You can't help but feel happy in a car like this. The last car I felt like this, apart from the CRZ I drove about 2 or 3 days ago, actually was a little Honda E, a little electric one, which I'd never had, and we had one for a few weeks. Absolutely loved that car, and again for the same reasons. It had a real character to it, and this does. Normally when garages or when you hear road testing talk about character, that usually is a substitute for all the other faults the car's got. The only fault this car's got, which I mentioned in the walkaround section, literally is its claim to have rear seats. It doesn't. I mean, they're epically useless. They're literally of no value whatsoever. This is a two-seater car, but as a two-seater car, you've got tons of room up front. I've got elbow room, lots of storage. It's a simply superb car. The point of the video, of course, is that to pick up on any obvious issues. There's absolutely nothing. The cliche is with used cars that it drives like new. It literally does. It literally drives like new, this car. Everything about it feels just so ridiculously tight and fresh. Lovely.